All living creatures have a soulmate, even if that soulmate is a different creature from a different dimension entirely. For example, in our world, an ordinary human could have a dragon prince for a soulmate in another world. No, I don't mean a soulmate as in the terms of true love. I mean in the terms of a special connection or an unbreakable bond between two beings that were born at the exact same time. No one knows who their soulmate is or what it'll be, or if it's possible to even meet them somehow. There are some creatures who don't even know they have a soulmate at all.
Have you ever gotten the feeling that there's someone, somewhere out in this world? Someone that you feel like you know everything about, yet you have never met before? Someone that's always with you, yet never around? Sometimes even being able to dream about their lives from your eyes? That is how Shirai, the daughter of the current chief of the Shirai tribe, has felt since she was a little girl. But unbeknownst to her tribe and their enemy tribe, the Tonshu, son of the Tonshu chief, has also had these types of feelings. But he would never tell the princess of his enemy tribe that, nor anyone else for that matter. It was a beautiful night in the Shirai village. The whole village was celebrating the chief's eldest son's acceptance into the University of Astrology in the nearby city. The city was so bright, you could see it from miles away. But because of how bright the city was, the natives were unable to see as many stars as they once did so long ago. Over the years, the natives have learned to adapt to their unfamiliar surroundings and are still able to keep most of their customs alive. There are some natives that have learned and adapted to the modern age's technologies, such as cell phones and computers. Some natives from both tribes have moved to the city to further their education, like Will. Several feet away from the Shirai village, 3 young Tonshu boys were hiding in a tree. Among the 3 boys was the Tonshu chief's son.
I wonder what's going on down there.
Asked the boy to his right.
A celebration for the chief's son. Not just that, but also for a bountiful fishing trip.
Said as stared at.
Yeah, they caught more fish than we did. So we're going to steal some of theirs and take it back to our village.
Said the boy on his left.
But isn't stealing wrong?
Asked the boy on the right.
Well, duh, but they're our enemy. Our villages have been fighting each other for hundreds of years. Besides, they'll still have plenty of fish left. They won't mind if we steal some from them.
Replied the boy on the left.
Shut up, both of you. If you guys don't, then we'll get caught, and you don't want to get caught. Do you?
Said as he glared at his 2 buddies.
Anyway, let's go while they're preoccupied.
The kid on the left said.
Right.
And said at the same time. As the 3 boys were sneaking into the village, the Shirai tribe were getting things ready for their celebration, and were looking through a telescope the city had donated to them to look at the moon and stars.
Wow, it's so big. It looks like it's a lot closer to Earth than it really is.
Said excitedly.
American technology has come a long way, and though we don't use much of them, this telescope helps our tribes look at the stars in a different way, perspective. And when I go to college, I want you to take care of the Shirai telescope for me. Can you do that for me?
Asked as he looked down at his 10-year-old sister. She looks up at him with sparkles in her eyes and nods her head quickly.
Of course, big brother,
she said.
Good. Now come on. The celebration is about to start.
He said as he held out his hand for his sisters, which she gladly took. The Shirai village all sat down in a big circle. Sat on their father's right, while sat on their father's left. As her father was talking about his achievements, she looks up and notices the 3 boys crawling around in the darkness.
What are the Tonshu doing here at this time of night?
She asked herself. As the boys were stealthily sneaking around the village, they came across the bins that held the fish.
Finally! Let's take 5 each, and then get the heck out of here!
The boy on his left yelled, and both nodded their heads. As they were gathering some fish, 2 strong Shirai men found them and picked them up.
Well, what do we have here?
The man that caught and the boy.
Looks to me like a couple of Tonshu kids, brother.
Said the other who had caught.
And look here, one of them is their chief's son.
The other said as he smiled.
Trying to steal all our fish. The chief is going to want to have a talk with you three trespassers.
The man said as they both walked towards the chief's teepee.
What's going on?
The chief asked as he, and walked out. Hides behind when she sees the Tonshu boys.
We caught these three tonshu's trying to steal all our fish. What should we do with them, Chief?
The one called said, as struggled to break free from his grip but was unsuccessful. The chief stares down at the three boys, stares right back at him, but the other two boys are scared of the chief.
What are your names, children?
He asked in a stern tone.
Sir?
Stuttered.
K-dash.
The other boy said. The chief then looks at.
And I take it you are the one that led this attempt?
He asked. Didn't answer. He continued to stare the chief down.
Where are you going?
Asked as everyone saw her running towards the place where the fish was being kept. She comes out a few minutes later, struggling to drag a large basket filled with fish. Ran to help her. He tried to take it back to the storage, but she refused. When they brought it to the chief and the kids, they set it down.
What on earth are you doing, child?
The chief asked.
The gods have blessed us with all the fish so that we can share with the Tonshu tribe, just as they have been blessed with hunting the wild animals,
she said. Looks at her.
How do you know about the success of my tribe's hunting?
He asked himself. He shook his head and glared at her.
You know nothing of our hunting skills,
he said.
But I do know that we Shirai live near the water, while the Tonshu live near the mountains. There are some animals that you cannot get from the mountains that you can with the water. It's the other way around for my tribe. We may be rivaling tribes, and our fathers may hate each other, but we can at least establish a trading system. Our fish for your goat meat, and your wool for our leather,
explained.
You can't be serious. There is nothing of value that the Tonshu would want aside from the fish,
said. Looked down in thought.
Our leather does break after a few years. Will their leather last longer than ours?
He thought. He let out a sigh, then looked straight into her eyes.
I will discuss it with my father, then accompany him back here for our fathers to discuss it,
he said. She smiles, then struggles to push the basket of fish towards the boys.
Then let this basket of fish be a symbol of goodwill from our tribe to yours,
she said as she smiled. A slight blush appeared on his cheeks.
Thank you,
he said.
And I hope that both our tribes will become allies one day,
she said as she held out her hand for him to shake.
Yeah,
he replied as he shook her hand. 5 years later, all the kids were in their classrooms watching the news on the spaceship that would take off any minute. His brother was one of the crew members on the ship. Everyone was crowding the TV that couldn't see. She tries to push through, but no one would let her in. Just then she felt a strong but gentle hand grab hers and pulled her into the crowd until she was able to see the TV. The hand left as quickly as it had come. She hears the radio man talking about her brother being the first Native American to go to space and that today would be a part of history. It's been a couple of months since the spaceship launched. Walked out of her classroom as the bell rang, carrying her books to her locker. As she was putting her books away, a hand slammed her locker shut.
Well, well, what do we have here? The Shirai princess, all alone,
she hears say with a sneer in his voice.
I don't see your friends anywhere, which tells me that you're on your own right now,
she said as she glared at him. He smiles seductively as he chuckles.
And this is just how I like it,
he said as she grabbed her by the collar of her dress and slammed her against the lockers.
You know, Shirai, our chief has been talking about negotiations for a treaty between our two tribes. Ever heard about it?
He said.
My father has never told me such news,
she said as he choked her. He chuckles again, almost to a full laugh.
Oh, my dear, sweet Shirai, you have been in the dark all this time? What a shame. But I guess I could tell you,
he said as he smiled evilly. He leans in close to her ear, almost touching it with his lips. What are you doing? They hear say.
Apparently, our dear princess has been kept in the dark about our tribe's plan. I only wanted to fill her in,
he said. He walked over, balling his hands into fists. What have I told you guys about trying to tell her? She's not ready. As acting chief of the Tonshu tribe, I forbid all of you to say a single word about it to or anyone in the Shirai tribe, he ordered.
But doesn't she have a right to know?
Asked. Glared at him. I said, she's not ready. Now are you going to put her down or do I have to take her by force? He said in a low, angered tone. Sighed, then dropped, making her fall to the floor.
Fine. But you know, she's gonna figure it out eventually,
he said before he walked away. He sighed and turned around. Are you all right? He asked as he held out his hand for hers. She gets up by herself.
I'm fine. Thanks for the help. Are you boys having a falling out?
She asked as she looked at him. Something like that. Anyway, let's get to our next classroom, else we'll be counted late, he said.
Right,
she replied. She looks at him in confusion.
I wonder what those boys are up to, and what do they mean by she's not ready? How strange,
she thought to herself. An hour later, as everyone was quietly doing their assignments, the door opened and the school principal walked into the room.
Miss Shirai, would you mind coming with me for a bit?
She asked pleasantly. Glanced up at her, getting a strange feeling that something was wrong. Wen and the principal left the room, raised his hand. Mrs. Rhonda, may I go to the restroom? He asked.
Take a hall pass, Mr. Tonshu,
she said without looking up from grading papers. He quickly grabs a hall pass and leaves the room to follow. He arrives at the office and sits outside the principal's door and listens into their conversation.
I'm afraid we have sad news, Miss Shirai. It's about your brother.
The principal began to say.
What is it?
She asked, afraid to hear the answer.
He's gone missing. His team were studying a black hole that's a couple light years away from Earth. He got too close to it and was sucked into it,
she said, and her eyes widened.